This clip is brought to you by VegasWinners.com. Get expert sports betting advice from some of the best handicappers in the world. Head on over to VegasWinners.com and win yourself some money.
Well, we're here now, Kurt. We made it through the Observer drama and the Pigpen stuff. We're here back to wrestling. Your pay-per-view debut against Samoa Joe has finally arrived. We're in front of 900 fans in Orlando. It's the first time you've wrestled twice in a row in front of a television audience at the same place. What struck you as different in this type of setting? What did you think about the Impact Zone?
Well, the Impact Zone was small. It was a studio, but it was a really cool setup. I mean, if you saw my entrance and what they were able to do with that, you know, the whole backboard and the entrance and the ramp, it was a really cool setup. And then you went down to the ring and the crowd looked a lot bigger than 900 people. They were able to make it look like there was a few thousand people in that arena. And it wasn't an arena, it was a studio. But it was a cool place to do it. It just took a lot of getting used to because I was going to be there quite a bit, you know, every single week. And, you know, that could be a little bit humbling when you're not traveling around the world in WWE and then you go to TNA and you're doing it in the same spot every single week. It can be a bit humbling, but, you know, we grew as a company and eventually we started going out to other arenas and having our bigger pay-per-views at bigger arenas. So we were growing, and I was very happy about that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe this is real, but we not only got a handicapper, but we got the best ever. How are you so good at handicapping these games? I mean, 4-0, that's quite a streak already.
Well, you know, let's talk about every pick I've given this year in the NFL as an example. 23-8. Every pick I've given this year. 4 weeks in the bag, 23-8. There's nobody in the country that can match what I do, but I always make sure, because anybody, Conrad, could make up anything. They could tell you and blow smoke and tell you, oh, I'm the greatest. But I am independently monitored and documented, so nobody could ever question what I say and go, I don't believe it. I send every pick to an independent monitoring and documentation service that has to get the pick before the game goes off and then publishes it after the game goes off so anybody can see what I gave. But this is the best start I've ever had. I've never been this good to start a season. You don't win every week, 4 weeks in a row, everything you put out. It's been the kind of year I've had. So get on a hot streak, because when a guy's on a hot streak like me, you want to ride it. I've always had a talent for picking winners. Never quite as hot as I am right now, but I've always been very good at it. And I think it's because I do more homework than anybody else. You know, the average guy or gal watching this podcast, they don't have time. They have a career. They have jobs. They might read the newspaper or go online and see something, but they don't have time 80 hours a week to study the games. That's what I do. And I have a crew of guys behind me, my consultants, who every week we get together 3 times a week and they throw their ideas at me. I throw my ideas at them. And then I pick the final 5 plays on Saturday and Sunday in college and pro football. So, I mean, I've got a great team behind me too, but we're all doing together hundreds of hours of homework. So you don't have to. It's all at VegasWinners.com.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to VegasWinners.com right now. Let's win some money.
Well, and I'm sure too, you balanced your outlook when you said, hey, they're paying me a decent wage. The travel schedule is far less than what I had.
Without a doubt, yes.
So you take the good with the bad, right? I'm sure that it's still, even though 900, the noise in a small venue like that, it probably still felt pretty cool to wrestle inside.
It was infectious.
There you go.
It really was. The crowd, the reaction, the studio. You would think there were 5,000 people in that arena, and that's what was really cool about the Impact Zone. It didn't matter how many people were in there. It was always a good setup, and it always looked great and sounded great.
From the Observer regarding your match, Kurt Angle beat Samoa Joe in 13 minutes and 31 seconds. The crowd was super hyped for this one. I would tell all of you, if you haven't yet, it's November. This is going to be the 15-year anniversary this month of November. Go back and watch this if you have the Impact Plus app. You can find the full match, by the way, also on YouTube. It is fantastic. I watched it this morning. They started chanting, "This is awesome," when you guys just touched. You locked up, and they're already chanting, "This is awesome." You used an overhead belly-to-belly suplex and clothesline over the top rope. The one thing about Angle is that he is so intense in the ring. He brings a level of believability in his matches that nobody else matches. Fans cheered both of you, and there were loud chants of Joe is going to kill you and Angle is going to kill you. Joe whipped Angle's head hard into the guardrail, which, by the way, I'll pause here. I felt it looked like you really got hurt when he threw you into the guardrail. Either that or you were just amazing at selling your ass off.
I would choose the latter. I'm amazing at selling.
Which, by the way, we talk about you moving into pro wrestling like a duck to water, but the selling for you is what I don't think people talk about enough.
Well,
Because
that's the first thing I learned. I turned everything off, my instincts. No, I didn't want to learn any wrestling moves. First thing I wanted to learn was how to bump properly and sell properly. And I made sure those were my two most important things I had to learn before I learned anything else.
yeah, because it's like, okay, yeah, you know how to do suplexes and wrestling holds and ankle locks. You have that background, but the selling, I think, is what you should most be proud of what
More
you really.
important than anything else.
Yes, bingo. So, and I was really picking up on that in this match. So he whipped you across, into the guardrail. Amazing job. Joe used an elbow suicida, and then Angle came up bleeding badly after a nasty blade job after being thrown hard into the ring steps. He was bleeding all over the place. Joe was headbutting Angle as well as digging his fingers into the cut and spreading it. Joe got a near fall with a power slam. Angle was sitting on the top rope and caught Joe in a guillotine. Joe tried to slam Angle out of it, but Angle turned it into a DDT. Angle used 3 German suplexes, but Joe kicked out. Joe used the muscle buster, but Angle kicked out. Angle used the Olympic slam. I think we just got charged by the Olympics. But Joe kicked out. Angle went for the ankle lock, but Joe escaped and turned it into a chokehold. You guys get the picture. Joe missed the tackle, and Angle used the Olympic slam a second time. It was funny because when Angle went for the ankle lock the first time, he had pulled down his straps. So he had to pull up his straps and then pull them back down and put on the ankle lock. You're just all kinds of wardrobe issues here. Joe struggled until he was near the ropes, but never got to the ropes and finally tapped out. Fans started chanting, "You tapped out" at Joe. Joe said that on this day, Angle was the better man, but he wanted a rematch and wanted to shake Angle's hand. Angle blew him off and left and went to the heel entrance. Joe then vowed that they would have to do things the hard way. This one is 4.25 stars, which today I'm sure would be high, just rated even higher, especially if you were in the Tokyo Dome. The match was booked to go long, and everyone on the undercard was given strong warnings not to go over their allotted time because they needed time for Angle versus Joe. Angle was calling the match, and it was his call to go home way early. Again, this is all Dave Meltzer. If it was because he felt going longer would hurt the match or it's a physical issue, nobody really knows, other than it was a surprise and the show ended 10 to 15 minutes earlier than scheduled. Kurt, tell us about that.
Okay, it was my first match against Samoa Joe. We never touched before except for the brawl that we had at the very beginning of the program. 14 minutes is plenty time for your first match. You have to build on that first match with your second match. You have to build on your third match from the first and second match. So each match will get longer as you continue on with your program. And I knew I wasn't just going to wrestle Joe once. I was going to beat Joe and his undefeated streak. So I know I had to eventually return the favor and have him beat me. And then we would have a blow-off match, a 2 out of 3 to see who wins the program. So I didn't want to go too long because we didn't need it. And the match was perfect as it was. We didn't need to go any more longer than we did. And that's the reason why I made sure that it was only 14 minutes.
Well, there you go. That answers years-long debate right here on the Kurt Angle Show, and that's why I went home. There's a method to Kurt Angle's madness.
There is
Meltzer.
a method, yes.
So go write that in your article next week. The rumor and innuendo is that there was a spot in your match where you had planned to do German suplex Joe 10 times, and you only did it 3. Clear up that rumor and innuendo. Did you gas out from not working as often, or was that the deal? Did you just want to do 3? Because on that third one, by the way, you kind of just I don't know if you remember, but you kind of just dropped him on the third one.
Yeah, well, it was getting really hard. I don't know if I could have German Joe 10 times. That was the problem. Not that I was tired, I just couldn't get him up. So the third one, I barely got him, and I knew there was time to let go.
Okay. And if you go back and watch the match, you'll definitely see what I'm saying as you watch him, especially deliver the third. But it was an intense, brutal match. This was a physical match.
It was very intense and very physical. That's how Samoa Joe is. He's always been like that and always will be.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.